Welcome to Tamer Bowling Video Ball Reviews. Thanks to Greg Bickta and the Perfect Aim Pro Shop for drilling our test equipment. Today we are testing the new Storm Code Red. Tester 1 is yours truly, a lefty speed rev match tweener. Tester 2 is Guy Porr, a high speed cranker. And Tester 3 is Dave Staboleski, a medium speed stroker. We're testing on a 41-foot medium house shot. First impressions, I like the Code Red more than the Code Black. It's smoother overall, and while the Code Black was the prototypical Storm skid flip motion, this one is much closer to the smoothness of the High Road. For value, we gave the Storm Code Red an 8.5 out of 10. It's in the premier lineup, and even though it's at the top of the price range, we gave it a higher score than the Code Black by just a smidge. Hello, it's an R2S hybrid cover. Strong asymmetric core. This looks to be a very versatile piece. Overall, we gave the Code Red a 9 out of 10. Sometimes when I get a ball like the Storm Code Red, I feel like I may have been a bit generous with other balls' overall score. In the end, this is our subjective score, but I think this ball starts out every bit of a 9 out of 10. Time will tell where it will finish. In terms of ball reaction, you get a typically clean Storm look, no surprises with any of their cover finished with 1500 grit polished out of box. We really enjoyed watching this core rev up in the mid lane, and that's where it brings its A game to the table. That rev up of this heavy core plus some solid in the cover smooths out the reaction over the Code Black. Doesn't mean it's not punchy, on the contrary it is, but while the Code Black was a clear skid flip ball in my mind, this one is more on the edge. And when considering that any Storm ball I keep in the bag has to have its shine knocked off, it'll be even smoother. For me, the lefty tweener, I tested this ball alongside the Matchup Pearl and Shorelock. This ball covered several more boards than the Matchup Pearl on this condition, and it's just a touch less than the Shorelock overall. It's a house shot, so middle of the road balls tend to shine. The Code Red cleared easily, and I just loved watching it spin up. It then begins a heavy motion towards the pocket. It's a little later than I like, but that's due to the factory polish that I frankly hate. It seems to offer some level of forgiveness, again due to its revving core. The more I watch the reaction, the more I think of High Road. For Guy, the high-speed cranker, most balls are grip it and rip it because he can. He initially found it a little squirrely but settled in. It was very similar to the Code Black in terms of ball reaction for him, but he actually saw about the same length with a bit smoother reaction down lane. It makes sense, but the factory finish made it a little under at times. With his rev rate, a little markup on the cover on the track, after one game or so, he was back in business. For Dave, honestly, the Code Red was money. Really easy to pitch it and watch it roll up to the pocket, shot after shot. He simply couldn't miss. There isn't much more to say for him. It was super easy to throw, the perfect length, perfect transition, and perfect carry. He couldn't miss. We didn't have to take out any shots in his video. Ultimately, it feels like Storm is pretty close to their quote holy grail ball with the Code Red, and that ball is the High Road. It offers a different type of rolliness while still having the smooth, predictable, and punchy characteristics of the R2S hybrid reaction. And if you bowl on house shots and you match up to any one of our testers, this ball can be used first out of the bag. It is a little clean, and I personally prefer to knock off that factory shine. In fact, so does Guy. If you bowl in on something heavier or a sport pattern, this may come into play as the pattern breaks down or with some surface. Dave and I were happy with our ball reaction overall. Guy warmed up to it nicely as the surface burned in a little bit. Really happy that Storm decided to bring this ball over to the US. I won't gush anymore until I have this ball a little longer and give it a chance to prove itself. In terms of shots that didn't make the cut, they show you what we saw. The one thing we saw, if anything, was a small bit of squirreliness. Dave the least, myself next, and Guy the most. Basically, the factory polish causes a touch of over-under. That characteristic seemed to affect the bowler in line with their speed. In other words, Guy throws harder, so he was more susceptible to it. Ultimately, it's an easy fix. Hit it with some Abralon to crack the factory shine. And that's pretty much what I always do with every single storm ball that comes in this finish.
Thank you for watching Tamer Bowling Video Ball Reviews.